Good day. This is your real estate review for the Central Okanagan for the first quarter of 2025. The Central Okanagan is basically flat. It's starting to inch down. Consumer confidence from the tariffs is inching down as well, which is pulling buyers back from the market. Even though we were in a recovery stage in December of 2024 and the first 3 weeks in January, you could see the predicted recovery coming at us. Things were starting to inch up, and quite aggressively, actually. When the threat of tariffs hit, that turned consumer confidence down, and it shows in the stats. It's interesting comparing the sales in the Central Okanagan. If you look at January to March, and you go over here and look at the average, this little number down here at the bottom, 127. So on average, in January, February, March of this year, there was 127 sales per month. If you look at October, November, December of 2024, the average is 139. So it's down relatively dramatically from the last quarter of 2024. However, if you look at January, February, March of last year, comparing three similar months, there was an average of 105. So it's up from the first quarter of 2024, but down from the last quarter of 2024. If that trend continues, you're obviously going to see a softening of the market in the Central Okanagan. If you look at the absorption, which is, the last three absorptions is 10.41, 10.55, and 10.96. The significant number is 12. So between 12% and 20% is considered a balanced market. Below 12% is considered a buyer's market. Above 20% is considered a seller's market. So the Central Okanagan has been below that 12% most of the months, all the way back to October or September of 2023. So that means, even though it's fairly close to 12, it does mean that there's going to be downward pressure on prices. So unless consumer confidence comes back and buyers start stepping up to the table in the Central Okanagan, you're probably going to see prices start to inch down as we get into the second and third quarter. It's interesting to ask the question, why? We can blame it on the tariffs, but why are the other zones? The other zones are not doing great, but they're doing better than the Central Okanagan. Why is that? And the most common explanation is the fear of the fires that we've had in the Central Okanagan area. That may or may not be true. It may be a factor along with other factors, but the bottom line is the Central Okanagan is pretty flat and starting to inch down. Thank you.